There might be some folks listening to this who are wondering, is it the time to get into the market? Is it time to sell their property? Should we play the waiting game? I know for me, we've been, shopping rates and, you know, got one down to 5.75%, but, it's all related to VA loans. So it's a little different for everybody else.
Hmm.
But, what would you have to say from a real estate expert like yourself to the average consumer? How are we looking right now?
We're looking all right. We've been under around 6.8, I would imagine, is what I've kind of been seeing from the lenders I speak to because, I'm a real estate professional, not a lender. So I technically can't really go into the weeds of interest rates, the percentages. But overall, we've been seeing it under 6.8, 6.5 in many cases too, or even less, depending on a number of things. But last year we were around 7% and it was really sticking there, but now with these rates under that, it's really caught a little bit more momentum with selling and things like that. But at the same time, we've been seeing a lot of inventory go up in LA and Orange County. We've been seeing inventory ranging from 35 to 47% more inventory, which is supply of homes for sale, than last year. So buyers have more options. I also think, you let me know what you think, Chris, but this is my opinion. President Trump, I believe, is trying to break the economy, make it weaker. That's why we've been seeing the stock market go down. We've been seeing jobs reports, even though a lot of it has to do with the last administration. But he wants it to appear weaker, whether it is or it isn't, in order to get interest rates lower, inflation lower.
President, should Americans buy cars now if they want to avoid higher prices? And then just a
No, I
follow
don't
up.
think so. I think you're going to have a country that's going to boom.
And all that perception in the market has caused sentiment where we're seeing interest rates go down, and that's a positive. I think a lot of mortgage people think we're going to go in the low 6% rate for this year, which means, to answer your question, I think you're going to have a time where you're going to see more refinances and people buying.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory. People have short-term memories. If, for example, the next 6 months, the economy is being broken down, as you say, and then all of a sudden, the rest of his presidency, it's booming. People won't remember this period
Right.
in the long term. And
Yeah.
as we all know, markets are a cycle of up and down, up and down. So it would make sense that that's a very interesting strategy. I think for a lot of folks out there, they realize that the first discounts are going to go to cash buyers. So for the average person, um, as soon as we get relief, it seems like you'll still have to wait a little bit longer to where the market settles down, and then you can jump in because this is difficult competing with cash buyers for ideal properties when you don't have cash. You're getting a loan. I know in
Right.
Southern California that's a big thing.
It is a big thing, but I don't think it's as prevalent as many might see it. I think it's been ranging nationwide. I don't have the stat top of my head,
Hmm.
but it's somewhere from like 24 to 30%.
Hmm.
I think it's more on the lower end, but you have a point there. But we always got to remember, when we see interest rates go down, we see home prices go up.
Right,
It gets
right.
more competitive. So you kind of have to meet right in the middle and try and time it if that's what you're trying to do. But that's why I tell people, just buy according to your lifestyle. And then if you're looking to refinance, I think later in the year might be the best time to do it. I think a lot of mortgage people have the confidence it will happen this year. We'll see a lot of refinances, and more so probably next year with
Right.
Trump in office.
And I think mainly what I was talking about was basically a little PTSD from after 2008, the financial crisis. It seemed
Hmm.
like whenever the market tanked all the way,
Hmm.
and a lot of people would think, well, wait a minute, this would be a good time to buy. That's where I don't expect us to have a market decrease like that, knock on
No.
wood.
Yeah.
But that's really where I was going with that. Is I remember, wait, when the market's down, the sharks come out to play. So that's why I said it seems like for the average person, you got to wait a little bit after the market basically goes down, tanks or whatever, because
Yeah.
that's when the folks,
But I
you know,
disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree because I don't think the market's really going to go down.
Well,
Home
that was my
prices.
point. I said that. I don't
Okay.
think it's going to go like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. So I was just emphasizing that I have PTSD from that experience, you
I
know?
see. I see. I think a lot of millennials do too,
Yeah.
especially the older millennials, and they've kind of been through so much, right?
Yeah.
9/11, the financial crisis, the Iraq War, now the Putin invasion situation,
Hmm.
Israel, Palestine, all that has caused so much going on that millennials are more hesitant, and we've been seeing more Gen Z, the ones that are have the means to do it. They seem to be a little bit more. Um, ambitious to get what they want when it comes to like buying property, and millennials have been kind of on the
All they've known is
sidelines.
chaos. Their whole lives has been in war.
They don't know any different in a way. Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's sad,
that's
but it's true.
that's my take on that. Overall, that's my best advice to you.